Welcome to International Soccer Break with Rahi and Shana, and we are in the midst of a fantastic Women's World Cup.
Incredible. Just an incredibly competitive tournament, an incredible quarterfinal round. Every game was good in its own right. I mean, every game was competitive. I mean, it's hard to argue this wasn't the most amazing quarterfinal round we've ever seen in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was also, we had some interesting things happen. There was drama. It was just, I mean, let's get into it. Yeah, let's break down the games.
Let's get into it. I couldn't have said it better. Let's start with Spain and Sweden both getting through. Spain playing the Netherlands, winning in extra time, and Sweden getting through in their match as well. So let's talk a little bit about both of those games. That was the Sweden-Japan game.
Yes, the Spanish team I thought was fortunate at times against a Dutch team that looked like they would pull it off in extra time, but missed a couple big chances. And in the end, the Spanish skill shone through. But it really was quite an even game, and it was very back and forth. And the Dutch could easily have won this game, but I'm happy they didn't. They were talking a bit of trash.
Yeah, talking about the US players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Netherlands were missing Daniel van de Donk, who is out for the game because of her yellow cards. I personally think they were a little bit too reliant on their striker, and I think that she couldn't convert those balls. And at the end of the day, I think they weren't really playing as a team. And I do think Spain was the better team.
Yeah, so in the Sweden-Japan game, that was actually a very interesting game because for the first, I don't know, maybe 50 minutes or 55 minutes, Japan wasn't even playing, it seemed like.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. It was surprising to see, to be honest. And it was hard to watch them not performing very well in the first half. I think they should have brought on Endo a lot earlier. I think she made a difference. I could be biased, however, because she is an Angel City player. So I don't know if it's because I just like watching her play, but yeah, they looked. I have to give it to them, though. I will say they are significantly shorter than the Swedish players, and you could tell that they were being outcompeted. And it was when they started to play well, it was nice to see them, really try to use their skill set. Sweden had a good line of defense. I personally think that they are the team to beat in this tournament, and they looked very consistent. They love to score on set pieces. That's pretty much what they do. It is their MO. But I mean, if it works, it works.
But that's the thing for me. It's surprising. The Japanese are a very well coached team. They generally know exactly what they're doing going into the game, and I was surprised by how they came out and how easily they conceded, and really by a Japanese team that has played very, very well in this tournament, and really in that game against Spain, they were incredible. Allowed Spain to have the ball, then countered them. I thought they did something similar to Sweden, but they really looked out of sorts for about 70, 75 minutes, and then finally they came back into the game and looked dangerous. They did miss a penalty. They did score the goal. But I was disappointed in Japan. I expected more earlier from them.
Okay, so that's one side of it. And then the other side, we had two very different types of games, in the Australia versus France game and the England-Colombia game.
Well, okay, let me start with the England-Colombia game. So Colombia is one of my favorite teams to watch. Has been one of my favorite teams to watch this tournament and will be one of my favorite teams to watch in the future. I think that a lot of people would agree with the statement. I love watching Ramirez and Caicedo on either wing. They're so much fun to watch. What I love about the way they play is that there's just so much passion behind it, how they're driving it forward and the heart that they put into this game. I do think that, it was disappointing to see them score and then, let up a bit. But I do think they need to employ a little bit more of just have a little bit more structure with the way they play. They're such skilled players. And if they did that, I think they could be unstoppable. And I do want to say one thing, and this is something I've noticed. throughout this tournament, young players like Casado, Sophia Smith, even Trinity Rodman to an extent, they are just a hair. They make too many touches, a hair too many touches on the ball. They need to just pare it down, dribble a little bit too much. They're so skilled. If they just did that, they would just be so good. I mean, that little volley that Casado had, and then she picked it up on the other end, like things like that, the back heels, these are amazing and so fun to watch. And if it's just pared down a little bit, I'm really excited for the future of this team. And, I was disappointed to see them go out. I do think that Perez getting injured was difficult. That ball, I really don't think, I think that was part of the reason that she, kind of caught loose from her hands. However, if they had gone to penalties, I don't think they would have won with their backup goalkeeper anyways. So
yeah, and England was very clinical on pass on their opportunities.
Yeah, they took their chances. I love this Colombia team as well, and you're absolutely right. It's 1, 2, 3 touches, and it could be just 1 or 2 touches, and that's something that could be improved on. England took their chances. They were clinical, and you can't concede a goal like that if you're Colombia. It's a really soft goal after scoring an incredible goal, and to go up like that, you need to go into half with that lead, and to concede that goal that way. I get she was injured, but you cannot, as a goalkeeper, drop that ball there in this moment. In the quarterfinal, that lost them the game.
Yeah, for sure. And moving over to the France-Australia game, that was I've never seen a game like that in soccer.
It was an unbelievable game. I mean, I watched half of it at one bar, and then I watched the other half at another bar. It was so late, and a something happened in the bar. There was a medical emergency and someone was bleeding, and I didn't even notice because I was so focused on this game. It was ridiculous. My friend was like, "Oh, of course you would not. It's so on brand for you to be so focused on this game that you would miss a medical emergency happening right behind you." However, it was that type of game. I mean, I am an Australia fan, especially after this game, but
You lived there too, so you have
I did. I lived there, I like the Socceroos, the Matildas both. I love Sam Kerr. She's just she reminds me a bit of Holland, sort of, in a way of like just having such a presence up there where people are scared no matter what.
I think everyone reminds you of Holland, it sounds like.
Oh,
you're wildly obsessed, but
yeah. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who are, but I am. It's true, but it's possible that I'm now mildly obsessed with Sam Kerr as well. But so let's just talk. PKs. First of all, the longest penalty kicks in a World Cup match, men or women. It was amazing. But the quality of these penalties, I mean, you compare those to Nigeria, England, Sweden, USA. I mean, it's not even in the same category. These were such amazing clinical PKs. And Arnold, I mean, to come off her line, make that amazing save, and then we have to retake the penalty and save again is just unbelievable. She was incredible, and I think after missing her own PK to recover like that, it is not easy, and it just hats off, honestly. I mean, France also, even the quality of their PKs was great.
You just get the feeling about this Australia team. It was an incredible game, an incredibly dramatic penalty shootout, but you have this feeling about this Matildas team that destiny is with them. They're at home. They're the host. Sam Kerr. There's something about this team, and they will have certainly their biggest test to date next against arguably the favorite England, and it's going to be difficult. But you do get this sense about this Australia team that this might be an Australian World Cup.
Yes, let's talk about that. That's a good segue into our onside offside topic of the day. England is the team to beat. So, if you listen to the English press, they've been the team to beat leading up to the World Cup, as the English press always does. But are they actually the team to beat?
I am going to go offside on this, and I'll tell you why. I think while you're saying Australia may have luck on their side, this tournament, I think Sweden does. I mean, how many times has the post worked in their favor? Even in this past game, I mean, they're getting their set pieces when they want to somehow, they're converting them. They're very clinical about it, but there is something where it seems like, they have a great defensive line and they're holding off, holding off, holding off, and they're able to score at the right times. And people are unable to score at the right times. And they've gone lucky, honestly, with that. I'm telling you, the post is on their side. And I think that this is their time. So I don't think England is the team to beat per se. I also want to point out that Lauren James is not going to be playing in this next game. She's on a 2-match suspension for stepping on another player, on Michelle Alozie, and that's going to hurt them. I feel like it already hurt them in the last game. I do want to bring up as well, though, like to segue really quickly, is that a little bit of a harsh punishment? I do kind of think so. I don't think it would be the same if this happened in the men's tournament. I think people came down really hard on Lauren James, and even Alozie was there to step up on Twitter and just be like, okay, you guys, let's calm down. This happens in soccer.
I think you're opening a new on and offsides topic, which is against the rules of this. You have one on or offsides, and now you're talking a double on or offside topic,
Yeah.
which I think is
Well,
completely not allowed and completely against the rules. But if we're
I
going down that road, I actually think
segued.
this suspension is warranted, honestly, because I think it was a
Okay.
petulant stamp. I mean, I get it. She didn't do with incredible force, but you just can't do that. You just can't do that at this level. It was silly. I think she deserves a 2-game ban, absolutely. It's completely outside of
Yeah,
the
and then you
normal.
can't
It's
step
not
on
a hard
someone.
tackle.
Yeah.
No,
It was
no,
something
no.
that it was in a response, right? It wasn't in the
Yes.
in the normal course of the game. It wasn't like
No,
tackle that could have been harder.
It was a malicious tackle, yes,
Yeah,
and
it was malicious.
yes, but I don't know. I still
I do see your point though. I don't know in the men's tournament like if they would have given a double suspension.
You remind me of the Beckham red card in the World Cup in
Yeah, against
98.
Argentina. Yeah, against Argentina. But the thing is, would he have been suspended for? Obviously, England lost that game in penalties, but would he have been suspended for the next game?
In this day and age, he
I
would.
mean, next game he would have.
Yes.
Would he have been suspended for
Then
the
maybe
second
not,
game?
but in this
Sure.
current age, the way they're suspending players, absolutely he would have been suspended.
Sure. If this is the precedent, I'm fine with that, but I just want to make sure that it's consistent and that is what it is moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. So after all that, I think Shauna was offside on this. What do
I'm
you got?
offside.
It was double offside, I think. Something like
Yeah.
that. Double
Yeah.
offside. Yeah. I hear you on Sweden, and I concede that I think it's a good matchup for them against Spain, a Spanish team that is susceptible to the counter, may not defend set pieces so well. So I think it's a good matchup for Sweden. But I think England is the team to beat. And I hope somebody beats them, but I think they are the team to beat. And I think Australia has a good chance to beat them, but they are the best team left. Even though they have looked up and down, they've struggled. They really should have lost to Nigeria in that game. They were a little better against Colombia. But in the end, this reminds me a little of the Jill Ellis American team that kind of at times didn't look great, but just found themselves in the final. And so I think they are the team to beat. I just think Australia might beat them.
Okay, so you're onside, and I'm actually going to go with Rahi on this one. I'm actually going to go onside as well, not because I think they're the best team, frankly. I think England has been quite poor in this tournament, but I think they've been very lucky. I know Sweden's been lucky too, but I feel like England's luck is more. Maybe they borrowed it from Ireland or something. But like this tournament, I think it's been a little bit more. I don't think they've played well, frankly. I think most of their games have been poor. So.
But in the end, I mean, the Colombia game wasn't as close as we thought, right? In the end, it was relatively comfortable.
I don't think it was comfortable. That's a whole topic.
That was a lucky.
Colombia had 15 shots. I guaranteed. I mean, not a lot of them were on target, but they had opportunities. And the games are coming up tonight on the West Coast, late tonight. Actually, technically tomorrow on the West Coast and East Coast. It's just after midnight, and then that'll be the Spain and Sweden game, and then the following night will be the England-Australia game. So a lot of exciting action coming up.
And such great quarterfinals. My gosh, how much fun were they to watch?
This brings up the topic, which could be an onside-offside topic for another time. Is this the best World Cup we've ever seen? But we'll hold that one off. because let's see how these semifinals go. Whoever everyone's rooting for, best of luck to that team. I know in this call, we got some Australia fans here. Keep watching the Women's World Cup. Keep watching the beautiful game, and see you guys next time.
England, Australia. It's such a sporting rivalry. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, that's it's like the Ashes of
The
women's soccer.
Ashes. Yeah.
Yeah.